Warzone is currently taking over the gaming scene. But what is Warzone? If you're a beginner to the game, this is going to be your basic introduction to Warzone. What are the different components of the game? What are the best weapons? This is the place to be here on Brandon Smith YouTube channel, so subscribe. Warzone. This is what you'll be introduced with, the main menu. So as you can see, you've got Battle Royale quads, Battle Royale trios, you've got Battle Royale solos, and Plunder duos. We'll get into what they all are in a second. First up is Battle Royale. Battle Royale is very simple. It's the fight of the fittest. The main objective is to kill everyone that you're playing against. This can either be done in solo, so on your own, or in a team of a trio or quads. When you enter the game, this is what you'll see. You'll be in the aeroplane and you need to get out of the aeroplane. You press A on Xbox to do that. You leave the plane and then you head to your desired location. So as you can see on the screen now, my teammate has pinned the prison on the left hand side. So that is where we are going to target. When you leave the plane for the first time, you will be given a pistol. The best thing I can advise to do is get down to a building, do some looting, get some armor and get a better weapon. This then will enable you to go after some better players and to hopefully kill them, get their money and kick them out of the game. When arriving at your location, the best thing is simply to get looting, get some cash, get some armor, get a better weapon. You will be able to hear the location of crates. Crates contain the loot that you desire. There'll be a slight humming noise on your screen through your monitor maybe that you'll be able to hear, so you'll know that crates are around. Blue crates have some decent stuff, but it's the orange crates that you really want to go for. Lots more cash, better weapons, more armor, more options. Often in the game as well, you'll see armor, cash lying about along the ground that you can get. Also, if someone has died in the area, then you'll be able to pick up their loot as well. Look everywhere you go, you never know where you will find it. As it's shown here in the prison on the top, you've got plenty of loot lying about. Also, options in this game is to get on vehicles and you'll be able to transport to other sides of the map much quicker doing this. One of the best ways is to use a helicopter, but be careful, people will try and shoot you down. So unless you're confident in this game, I would not suggest going for that so early on. So you've landed, so what happens now? Well, on your map, on the top left corner, you'll be able to see little red dots which indicate where enemies are. The only disadvantage with this is that enemies will not be located if they are within a building. It's the same for you, for them as well. This will then tell you where they are and you can then decide whether to go for them. You'll also get an idea of whether there's a team there or whether it is one person on their own. Communicate with your teammates to decide whether to push or to leave these certain enemies. But I hear you ask, what happens if I die? Well, you'll be taken to this place, the Gulag. The Gulag is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 1v1 match against another opponent who has died in Battle Royale. You'll both have the same weapon. There is two ways to win this match. You can simply kill the opponent, which is probably the easiest way to win this game, or you can secure the location, which is in the middle of the ring. You'll both enter it and you'll have the same weapon. There are many places to hide, and it's different types of players will do different things. But if you win this, you'll be thrown straight back into the game, but if you lose, it's game over for you. Plunder is one of my favourite modes in this Warzone. The reason for this is because I'm shit at the game, so there you go. But simply, Plunder is a very simple game of you have to get the most money. Team with the most money at the end of the allotted time wins the game. You can get money again by looting, by killing opponents, and on the map it will often come up with the person who has the most money in your area so you can target them. Be aware though that you will come up on the screen if you have a lot of money, so use things such as cash deposit balloons, or you can always call in a helicopter to get rid of your money. The only problem with calling in a helicopter, of course, is that it does draw attention to yourself. The shame about this game is that they've got rid of trios and quads for Plunder, so there's only duos. I was a massive fan of this on trios, a massive fan of this. Plunder is a brilliant game. As I said, if you're not great at the game, if you're new to the game, certainly start with this, folks. It'll help you improve so much, because when you die, you're just put straight back into the game. You may be out for about 20 seconds or so, but you're straight back into the game. There's no gulag or anything like that. You're straight back in. You'll be able to see how much cash you have on the bottom left of your screen, where it says how much money you have got and what your position is at the time. My suggestion is not to collect too much money at the beginning, but to really go for it when the overtime comes, where money will be doubled for that 3 minutes or so. So every money that you collect in that allotted time, in that overtime, will be doubled straight away, folks. So that is when you want to go get that big money. Communication is a massive part of Warzone. I would certainly recommend, if you have a mic, to make use of it. You can play with friends, so if you're not comfortable talking to people you don't know, certainly do it this way. Communication is important for 2 reasons. 1, so that you can communicate your location, but also so you can communicate what you're intending to do, and also where there are potential enemies or enemies are around. I would suggest communication through mic is preferable. If you don't have a mic, you can always use, very simply, pinning locations on the maps to really communicate where you are at. One fantastic way to get more money in Warzone is to get loadouts. You'll be able to see them by the green flare. They contain cash, armor, and also possible contracts, but even more importantly, potential better weapons for yourself. But be aware that these do draw attention, and therefore you may be spotted by potential enemies. It's best sometimes to try and fly in with a helicopter on these, so you can make a swift exit when possible. Using the map also in Warzone is key. This will help you locate certain places, such as shops where you can buy armor, etc. Also, it will help you locate vehicles and other enemies in the area. So what is the best way to travel? Is it on foot or in car or by air? It simply depends what kind of game you want to play. To go quietly about, maybe on foot is best, but you come up on the map. To go in a vehicle, you do come up on the map, but you travel quicker. To go in the air, you do come up on the map, but you have that height advantage and that aerial view. Personally, if you're beginning on this game, I would suggest going on foot, but being close enough to vehicles to be able to get away quick enough. As you can see on screen now, I've just bought a cash deposit balloon. This is very handy, so you can get rid of some of your money, so you're not carrying it about, so if you do die, you will not lose it. These cost a certain amount at shops that you can buy. They're fairly cheap, and once you get them, you simply put it and then you fill it up. These can take up to £150,000 each, so if your teammate and you have enough to fill the balloon, fill the balloon. If you have enough to fill it yourself, fill it yourself. These balloons then will be gone, and they will be safe then and put away to one side. Therefore, if you die, you will not lose this money once it has gone. A good idea is to use vehicles. Vehicles can get you from one area very quickly, but be aware they do draw attention due to the noise, but also due to them coming up in red on your map, and other enemies will be able to spot this. But just to travel short distances and quickly to get out of certain areas where you may be under threat, it is better to get out this way. The importance of wearing armor is very important, especially in close combat. That can be the difference between you managing to get away and also being killed. Put on armor every time you are playing. It is so important, and if you are a beginner to this game, as I was a couple of weeks ago, armor will make a massive difference to your game. Put it on and make sure that you got plenty on if you can. Always be careful when going up the steps like so. There can be people waiting on the roof for you, but luckily this guy had no idea I was there and I finished him off pretty comfortably. So there we go. I hope that has covered the basics for you here on Warzone. If you have enjoyed this one, do feel free to subscribe. More Warzone content on the way, and I stream live on Mixer as well. Link in the description. I'll see you next time on Bistro.